listening to the Northern Hunter Podcast, home of all things hunting, fishing, and outdoors in Alaska.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the show. My name is James Payne, and I am sitting down today with one of our great sponsors, Troy Sessions with the 60-Inch Club. Thank you so much for joining me today, man.
Hey, it's my pleasure. Thanks for inviting me on the show.
Yeah, no problem. So for anybody that's surprised, you actually can see me this time. It's the first time we're playing around with the whole video podcast thing. It's a direction we're trying to move in. So if this is your first time on our YouTube channel, thank you so much. And if you're listening to this in the audio version, which is the only way we've been available for the most part, go check out the YouTube channel. If you search at The Northern Hunter on YouTube, you'll find us, and hit that subscribe button. It'll really help out.
Subscribe.
Yes, do it. We're playing around with this a little bit. You can see some of the new temp studio that we're in right now, AKA my garage. But we're having a good time trying to do some new stuff. You've actually been extremely helpful in that regard, Troy. So thank you so much as far as unleashing a research monster within me, because you started pointing out what you're doing with your new stuff going on. And man, it really got me moving. I've been spending every waking moment researching this stuff and trying to jump to that next level.
Hey, I appreciate it. I just like to spread the wealth and help everybody else out. Having a podcast like yours has been incredible, and I've been blessed to have you on here. It's really cool when you can listen to it, but realizing that the world of podcasting has actually gone visual now for video on YouTube, and then you can still have it on audio and reach people that are driving in a vehicle, a whole nother world. Because James, you can now show pictures of what you're talking about.
Right.
So people can hear that, but when they can see the actual pictures, it brings a whole nother level to a podcast. I love it. And that's kind of why I'm doing it. But I've done production for 20 years now with my hunting video. So
right.
It's a little different of a jump. Even you've helped me with some audio ideas and techniques. And I got to get a mic stand like yours next. Yeah,
they're handy. And they make so many different kinds too. That's the other cool thing. It's almost like the gun world. There's just so many different attachments and different stuff you can do, and you just really get to customize it for what works for your situation.
That's a real good analogy. You can't get enough cool stuff on your rifle or your handgun.
Look, the's always that next mod you want. I've got the new scope, the new suppressor.
I've got a salt shooter for spiders, and it's got an infrared button on it. You can a red dot, and you aim it on the spider.
Yes, sir. I like using those things for mosquitoes around here when they get in the house, or flies. Good.
Yeah, but for sure.
So yeah, this is an exciting new avenue. I can't guarantee every podcast we'll do from here on out will be video. There's still some complications with the complexity of having multiple people in one room. I'm sorting through that. I'm working with a lot of great companies that are helping me troubleshoot how to kind of piece things together to get it working. So coming soon, we'll be doing more video on everything. Like you said, it's going to be great because plugging your products like the game bags, you can literally hold up the game bags and show people. You know, when we're telling somebody how big the fish was we caught, they can actually see what we're talking about. That's the hardest thing with audio only podcasts is when you're trying to really describe something and drive it home what it looked like. And then you're in the room with somebody. Yeah, you're in the room with your buddy talking, and you'll do the gesture and then not realize that not everybody else can hear you or see you. So.
Or maybe not believe you so much when you got the picture, then they can't deny that it was a 40-inch moose.
Exactly. So we're talking today about a new, exciting educational avenue that you're going down, pushing out some new content, some new stuff for people to really help bring their dreams to life, their visions to reality, kind of in a similar way to how you've done it for years now. Yep. Especially pertaining to the hunting world and different things products that people think would be helpful, from their experience based on struggles they've had and gaps they've seen in the industry. And I've had a chance to read the book, the one you just recently put out called Invent. It's a very well-written book, easy reading. I mean, I could sit down. I've read it twice now, actually. And the second time I read through, I was able to sit down and read through the whole thing. It wasn't hard reading, wasn't hard to grasp the concepts. It's a very nice roadmap. So I'm excited to talk to you more about that.
Excellent.
But before we get too crazy into that, what you're known for and what we talk about all the time with you is the 60-Inch Club, the moose hunting that you guys do, and even some caribou hunting from my understanding. I just wanted to say congratulations on another season with the 60-inch club, and heard a lot of success stories coming out of the woods this year, and a lot of happy people.
I'm always just blown away how successful our DIY hunters are, and then they just go out and get it done. And we get the guys that go with 60-inch club are just a bunch of animals anyways, and they can put boots to the ground like anyone else practically. And it's always a pleasure learning from these guys as well as me showing them 30 years of what I've done with moose hunting. And then, just seeing the smiles and the pictures rolling in and their success, and knowing that the average success rating for an out-of-state hunter coming to Alaska to moose hunt is 10.5% chance. And that's not average. That's the most that you can expect. And that's not me talking. That's the Department of Fish and Game with 20 years of keeping records on that. So basically, if you're an out-of-state hunter coming to Alaska to moose hunt, you've got an 89.5% chance of failure. And that's the findings.
Yeah. It's such a hard thing too. It's not surprising to me at all, because it's such a hard thing to jump into a world where, like up here, access is very hard to good quality hunting areas. And you can luck out and find something right on the side of the road sometimes, sure. But trying to be intentional and purposeful and really get that target moose that you're after when you have no in-person scouting, no in-person experience in the terrain, the area, the
it
feed,
really is
what
pure
browse
luck.
looks like, any of that. It's luck of the draw.
It's just pure luck, yeah.
And that was a cool thing. I got to talk to a couple of people that were going out through your outfit this year and through the raft rentals and all of that, and getting to have nice conversations with them and kind of explaining to them how everything works and hear the stories on both sides of the hunt.
Yeah.
They're brand new to Alaska and they're like, wow, this place is cool, and what their expectations were. And then hearing the success stories after the fact, or, and even some of the people that might not have been successful in certain areas still had a wonderful learning experience and a wonderful trip. And I will say there weren't many of those, but they still all had a great, wonderful time, and they were very grateful for the experience that they had.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect it to have 20 different people have 100% success. For moose hunting, even the guide industry can't do that. I mean, we are blessed that we are right at it. Sometimes we're even over 90% success ratings on it. And, people want to say what's your success ratings for 60-inch club, and the bottom line is we're not outfitters.
Right.
I'm not there as a guide, so I'm not going to give you a kill ratio. I'm going to give you what I would call the. Did you have how many chances did you have at getting close to a bull moose?
Yeah,
but it's more about that. Did you have the ability? Did it present itself at that point? I mean, if you we have two bow hunters last year that went out and they called in a 70-inch bull and several 30-inch bulls and came home empty-handed. So were they successful? Yeah. I mean, if they had a rifle, they would have been successful. So it's about opportunity when it comes into 60-inch club, and that's what our areas offer. That's what our moose culling teachings teach you is how to get those moose in to you to where you're at.
Right.
It's opportunity.
Yep. And from everyone I talked to, they said basically, especially the successful ones, they just did what you said.
Yeah.
They said some of them had experience moose hunting, some of them had zero experience moose hunting, but they said, nope, I just went right where in this zone that I was told to go to, where this plan was for, and I just followed the program. I just did what he said to do. I listened to the advice. I didn't try to recreate it in my own head and think I knew better. And sure enough, came out with meat and antlers. So
and big antlers too.
Big antlers.
We know when the antlers don't fit inside the plane, it's pretty big, good size antler. Use antler.
Yes,
an average
indeed.
moose antler for us. On average 60-inch bull moose antler, if you keep the skull plate on and keep the antlers whole, it's about 74 pounds on average.
Oh, yeah. It's not an easy thing to pack out. I mean, you
get the infamous photograph of angels with wings as they're packing that up.
Especially with moose. I mean, good night.
Right.
It almost gives you, I'd say, a higher appreciation for just those animals in general. I mean, trying to hike through some thick country when you've got a pair of their antlers on your back.
Yeah.
And then realizing they live in here all year long. When they have those big antlers on their heads in the late seasons of the summer and fall, and they're still having to walk through all of that. I mean, good night. And just how easily they can just plow right through it and disappear and everything.
I was going to say, I'm amazed at how often they can just disappear in a ditch. And you're like, no way, he's so big. Or when you fire the shot and they drop, you don't see him. Right. He's 70 inches wide. He's 8 feet at the shoulders. And then you go up from there to the antler. He's probably about 11 feet tall, the tip of the antlers. I don't know, somewhere in there. And when they drop, they disappear. And you got to go find them.
Yeah.
I mean, even a one-shot drop, and the foliage just sucks them in, and it's amazing.
Yep, that's when it's good to have a buddy that can stay where you shot while you go explore and point you in the right direction with hand signals and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but awesome, yeah. So, again, congratulations on another season with that. If anybody is interested in getting on board with 60-Inch Club and maybe getting on with some of these plans and whatnot, what's a good way they can get in contact with you?
The best way is to go to 60inchclub.com, submit a form, an email, basically, a contact that we can reach you back at. There's also a phone number there. If you got your smartphone up, you just click that number and you can call us right away.
Mm-hmm.
And then most all the questions that people have is on the website. So really take the time to go through the website and see what we offer and what the home planner is all about and how the training courses come into play. You can go into each one of our locations on the website, and it shows you videos of usually of us hunting that area, pictures of the success of people that have hunted that area. And we don't always put every photograph into each one of those locations because there's so many of them, but we give it the best description we have that from my own personal experience of hunting those locations. And that seems to work really good for people. Then give us a call, and either way, call. We love to talk hunting.
Perfect. Awesome. I can definitely attest that having inside knowledge of an area and having boots on ground experience, you provide pictures, videos of the areas from when you were there hunting there, the kinds of moose that live in these areas. That is almost, you could say, invaluable information when you're an out-of-state DIY hunter. It really is like nothing else you're going to find on your own. You know, you can scour Onyx maps on your own. You can search the forums and try to piece it together. But if you're looking at it on a forum, so is everybody else too. That's the other thing to realize. So
exactly. I don't know of anybody else that offers the ability to watch us hunt a location and then see what exactly happened. You don't got to believe me. Just watch the footage. It's on every one of our hunting locations. You can see that that's where you're going to be precisely in that camp if you want.
Right.
And you'll see the fire pit of the fire we had a year earlier. In most cases. So and then the training is the same thing. Let me take all the footage that we've compiled for hunting those locations. And then I actually literally stand in front of a green screen when I'm showing this footage and I'm teaching you how to call in moose. Quite often it's the location you're going to.
Right.
I mean, you're looking at it. And so it's true. It's working. And then you see the moose signing the guest book and me holding them. And then now we're pretty lucky because now it's our clients that are sending us the footage and the pictures. And we had a video go viral here just recently, and it went nuts. It's a video of a friend, and it's actually called "Congratulations, Sam." Have you seen that one? I'm going to share that with you here, and just so you can see our monthly views on our 60-Inch Club YouTube. It seriously is incredible. Here we go. So can you see that?
Oh, yep.
Look at the date today, September 24th.
Fantastic.
Yesterday
man.
I took that. Isn't that crazy?
That is awesome.
So, amazing stuff.
Yeah.
And we've got so much more footage to show you, and it's still coming in, the footage, and now with our new podcast show on YouTube, we're doing podcasts with each one of our guys going over their hunt and what you could have done better. Quite often they're asking me, could they have done differently? And then you get to watch me give them the advice that I have in my training courses, which is actually new training courses coming out. But yeah, you get to watch it on YouTube for free and hear the people and our clients firsthand now. I think that's an amazing addition to our company.
That's awesome. Yeah, because then they're not just getting your experience, they're getting what was it like for somebody who had never been there before to realize, the terrain and the area and the struggles and everything. Because it's still not going to be the easiest thing you've ever done in the world. And actually, in most cases, a lot of people describe it as the hardest thing they've ever done.
We've got
to understand when you're going into a moose hunt.
Yeah, we got a couple locations, one in particular that it's going to be the hardest hunt you've ever done and probably the most gratifying at the same time.
Exactly.
We call it Jurassic Park. You literally feel like you're going through the movie of Jurassic Park as you float through this valley and come out of the mountains into this flatland. And it's just amazing. The moose are ginormous. We've got a podcast scheduled with the guys last year. They took a confirmed Boone and Crockett bull out of there.
Nice.
And another 65 or 7-inch bull. It's actually called Four Brothers and 4 60-inch moose because 4 brothers went with us 2 separate years, and all 4 got 60-inch plus bull, including one Boone and Crockett bull. So it's going to be called Four Brothers and 4 60-inch bulls. It'll be on YouTube. It's coming out here soon.
I'll keep an eye out for that one. So that's awesome. Talk about cool stories around the table at Thanksgiving, huh?
Wow. And they're still sending me pictures. They sent me a picture a couple days ago, and it's all 4 of them holding their moose racks back home. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I'm like, I'm going to post it pretty soon here on our Facebook and YouTube accounts, and you can see it. But that's going to be the podcast of many that are coming out with.
Awesome. That's perfect.
The podcasts aren't as good as yours, James, here on Northern Hunter, but I'm learning here. We're learning in progress.
Just don't listen to the first 10 episodes there, man. They were painful for us.
But they're good now. I love the music. I love everything you put into them. They're informative. You're fun to listen to. The personality of all of you guys talking is engaging. And I'm just drawn in. And the next thing you know, it's an hour and a half gone by. And my wife's asking me, what are you doing? And I'm like, still drawn into the show. Yeah. So good job.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. It's been a long road so far. I think we've been doing this for, it'd be 2 years, just a little over 2 years now, actually. Whoa. So a lot of learning curves, a lot of trial and error, trying different things and trying different formats, different things. It's been awesome. Honestly, it's been great to interact with the public and receive questions and give answers. If I don't know the answer, I'll find you the answer. That's kind of the thing with the Northern Hunter is like, we might not know everything because nobody knows everything, but we know people that know bits and pieces.
I'll tell you what you do know. That's the fact that you live in Alaska.
Yes.
And that's an edge over everyone that doesn't live in Alaska. And you're doing it yourself. You're living here in Alaska. You're getting it done. You're an avid moose hunter. You guys all hunt. You're all successful. Mm-hmm. And you are right now, you're looking at 8 inches of snow outside, if not more. And you live in Alaska. It doesn't come from a better source.
Right.
If you want to hunt Alaska and you're not a resident, you don't get a better source than the people that actually live here.
Yeah, and that's exactly what we try to do is just give an inside view of what it looks like to be in Alaska, to live here, to just do it. And, and again, there's value to understanding the boots on ground aspect of it. And so we don't really go into areas a whole lot on this show. When people ask, if somebody asks about a specific area and we have some knowledge about it, we'll expand what we know about that specific area. Yeah. But we don't really do a whole lot of what we call spot busting. So if you're wanting to know where to hunt moose or black-tailed deer or caribou, unless it's the very common, everybody knows about it, even in Florida kind of places like, we're not going to point you in a locational direction, but we'll tell you what to look for in a location, what features to look for, and a lot of that is based around just respect for the people that hunt in this state and not wanting to just, I drove past this valley and if you go up this trail, there's a lake up here and blah, blah. And some guy that's been hunting in there for 20 years is like, what the heck, man? So
that's what I was, my buddy, congratulations, Sam. I'll tell you his name. he was like, Troy, this is my coveted area. I don't want no one to go there. And I said, no, I understand. This wasn't a 60-inch club area. Sam is just a personal friend of mine. He's a local. He services my boiler systems. Just become a good friend. He shared the video with me, and I said, can I put that, on our 60-inch club? Because it's humongous moose, and he's my friend. So I'm not going to tell you where Sam's hunting. But it is a good spot, and it's accessible without a plane. How about that?
Yep. And that is the other aspect too that we try to drive home here on this show too, is like, you don't have to be insanely rich to do this. You don't have to be some superstar that just has a huge retirement account saved later in life, or just had booming success in your younger years, and you've got a stockpile of cash. If you're dedicated and you're driven, you can have success in Alaska.
I think so,
no matter
too.
what. No matter what your access is, no matter what your bank account looks, if you want it, it's there for the taking. Maybe it'll be a little harder, but there's always access to success in Alaska.
I think the biggest takeout of all, first of all, you got to have the drive and the passion to want to do it. And then at that point, it doesn't matter about cost, or you're going to find a way to do it, less expensive. But next will be getting the intelligence required to find these locations and talking to people here. And you're not going to get them on harvest reports. I'm going to tell you that right now. I don't even tell anybody where I've harvested my moose. No, not once have I said, here it is. This is the GMU unit. Harvest reports are really awesome, and you should do them, but it doesn't mean you got to tell everybody where you're at.
Exactly.
Or you'll lose it, because I've lost hunting locations in my early years from the hunting videos I put out. And there are still people in that camp today. I haven't hunted that area for 15, 18 years, maybe 20 years. They're still in that hunting camp that I made today, or every fall. They told me at a show, hey, I found your spot, and we're hunting it. And I'm like, well, good for you.
Yeah,
it's a good spot.
Good thing I got a bunch of them.
I get more
right on. And we did a whole podcast with you a little while ago now, and when you came on and you talked about your background in moose hunting, kind of how you came up in the moose hunting world, and what kind of drove you to finding a lot of these locations and the things you look for in a location. A lot of your success stories from the past. So anybody that wants to listen to that and get some expanded knowledge on your backstory there, I'm not going to pretend to know the episode number right now, but if you just go to The Northern Hunter on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or anything like that, and you just search Troy Sessions, it'll pop up. Excellent. And I think that was a good length episode too. We talked a lot about different hunting and stuff like that. So
we did.
And then, which eventually led to the next phase, which is what the rest of this podcast is about, where at some point you decided, you know what, I've tried enough of this. I've tried enough of that. I've had this idea in my head for some time now. I'm going to bring it to life. I'm going to bring this idea to reality. And it sounds like you're kind of the same as me in some of your ideas, where you were essentially saying, I want this. And maybe other people do, but even if it's just for me, I'm going to make this. And
I did that. You're absolutely right.
What would you say was like what sparked that fire to really make that jump into the production of your ideas and bringing that to reality?
Well, it's the need for it. Everybody, you've got a need for it. I'm going to call it some kind of a pain that it's bugging you. For me, it was, putting 120-pound hind quarter that's in a bag already into my airplane or my boat or my canoe. And one side's always drippy, bloody, messy, nasty. And I got to bear hug that. And I've been doing this for 30 years. I've hauled probably 40 moose out of the field with friends involved with that. I waited 20 years for someone to put a handle at the bottom of a bag before I decided I'm going to do it myself. And I just did it. And, I needed it. It helped me load the plane, because when you load a plane, you're worried about center of gravity. The plane has a center of gravity right down the middle. It's right behind, almost like between where I sit and right behind me is a CG point of a plane. So whenever you're loading a plane, the heaviest content that you're going to put in the back seat that heaviest part's got to be like right next to my back.
Right.
Otherwise, the plane will stall and take off, and that's not a good outcome.
Ooh.
So that's got to be the nasty, bloody, heaviest part of the bag. And then I got to unload the thing.
Right.
And there's no handle to grab the heaviest part of the bag. And the hock is at the other end. And so, by golly, I set into motion to put a handle on the bottom of the bag. And I started the process with a sewing string, sewing needle, some yarn, and I tested a whole bunch of materials. And I decided that I was going, and then I went to a seamstress of all people and asked her if she would make the bag for me. And that was the best decision I ever did. And I had her sign a non-disclosure NDA, which she was happy to do so. She's a friend. And she told me, hey, let's use this material for this waist. It's really strong for the handle. And I go, yeah. And I go, that sounds good. And then I'm going to do this cross Z stitch thing. It'll be 10 times harder. I'm going to use this yarn and so on. So that's just what I did. And then she goes, and I said, I want a double string in it because I hate that one string that ends up being 6 foot long when you pull it tight around the quarter, and I don't know what to do with it, but wrap it around there. So I put 2 strings in there. So now you can wrap those strings around a lodge pole and tie the whole thing up like a shoestring, like you're tying your shoes, and it's up there.
Well, and that's one thing I really love about your bag design, because not only do you have that double string on the top there that really cinches that thing down super tight, but the string you chose to use is durable.
50-50
and so many of these bags that you get, especially when you get into the lighter weight bags, it's just a little tiny bitty string that
you can almost cut your finger
on
with
you,
it.
and you can hang a quarter up with the strings on the bag alone.
I've done it.
I've done it. Yeah.
I put it in the backyard of one of our bags. I bought 2 60-pound bags of sand, put them in the bag, and hung them up for 2 months in the backyard.
Really? Okay.
And through the rain, and I'd go out there and spray the bag down every single day to have it wet, came like a wet piece of meat. 2 months. And then I just took them down. They didn't even rip or nothing. So
nice.
I think it'll last a 10-day moose hunt quite well.
Sounds like it. Yeah.
Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to leave it out there and film it every day and see how many months go by without it ripping and how long it'll hang up. I think that'd be just neat to know.
That would be. Do like a time lapse. You just see the sun come up and go down.
Yep. Some kind of time lapse.
Yeah.
So I had a need for this invention, and nobody had a handle in the bottom of the bag. I did the research. I looked everywhere I could find, which is what you want to do. I called a lawyer and talked about getting a patent on it. And then you got to pay them. Usually it's about $1,500, and they do a in-depth search in the countries that you want to protect. And when you do a patent on something, they're going to ask you what countries you want them to be patented in. And of course, I was like the USA and Canada. So he did a huge comprehensive search, didn't find anything that was going to compete with it at the time that we started all this. And so we moved forward, and that's what you do. You pay the $1,500. He does his search. So you're not going to waste another 10 grand if he all of a sudden find something later.
Right.
And so we went for, and then you got to disclose how many. I said, there's all these other companies out there with these meat bags. What's the odds that I can patent this? And he's like, well, if no one's got a handle on them, then you're making a product better, and that's absolutely legal, and you can patent that. That's what we did. It took several attempts and revisions to keep submitting it to finally get the patents for handles in the bottom of a bag. The learning process was huge. And basically, for everyone looking or that's listening, just contact a lawyer, tell him what you're doing, give him some drawings, write up a description, and he'll do the rest. It's that easy. Yeah. And if it doesn't guarantee you're going to get patent, you might lose it all. I still got one patent out there. I've got 30 grand into it, and it's not patented yet. But I'm going to hold the faith. And
does the pending status give you any protection whatsoever? Because you see that a lot on products too. When even in stores, like big box stores, or patent pending.
Yeah, I think somehow I've become like an expert on how this works because I've been doing it for so many years. But and learning. And you spend 5 years in college, you're going to learn something. Well, for me, it's been like 10, 12 years in this process of, I've got about 9 different products out now that I have manufactured. And yeah, you just learn how this works. But patent pending means, it doesn't mean it's protected. It just means someone's not going to want to buy 1,000 bags at $70,000.
Right.
And all of a sudden I get my full patent status tomorrow, and they've just spent 70 grand and they got 2,000 bags out there coming in that they cannot sell no more. It keeps people from trying to copy you. It's a deterrent. But once you get full patent status, then you can serve them and cease and desist letter and call them names and, try to pull their hair. But then what happens? So here's the thing. Here's why I did patent, because I want to make darn sure, because of a couple of situations that occurred, that by golly, they're my bags.
Right.
The federal government says they're my bags with patent status, and no one can say any different. And if they do, they're liable.
Right.
And that's why. And so for me, it was gratifying to say, not only are they mine, I can prove they're mine. And that's the name of the game, really. Otherwise, there's so many people that are copying and trying to do it cheap.
Yeah.
And that's not the best way to do it.
Now, for somebody who has some ideas, in this instance, this is a perfect example of like a game bag, right? Yeah. There's 100 different brands of game bags over the years and over the different areas and terrains, right? Like, everywhere you look, you'll find different brands of game bags everywhere. And everyone's a little bit different style, and everyone has its little feature. But let's say somebody wants to modify a piece of gear in the way that you did, and whether it's bags or whether it's bino harnesses or whatever it might be, right? Something common that everybody uses, that you have it on your chest long enough, or you have a backpack that you want to do, I don't know, something common, right?
Right.
There's a lot of versions out there already. How much of a modification do you have to make to improve a product? Because obviously, right, I mean, if somebody tried to patent, like, you have the 2 drawstrings on the top and a handle on the bottom, and the material you use is unique to your design. You chose that material.
It's a special blend of nylon and a proprietary blend that I can't disclose because it's proprietary. I don't want anyone else to try to emulate what I got. But yeah, so I didn't go with everybody else's material either on top of it. It's a complete step off. So to answer your question, you're looking, in a court of law, you're looking at about 28 to 32% of an offset.
Okay, gotcha.
You get the 28 to 32% offset, then you can override someone's patent to where it's actually a new product. That's what you would have to present to the judge, and well, what is your case in that regards? Somebody has to prove that you are emulating their product. If somebody wanted to do bags with handles at the bottom of it, well, they can't. But let's say someone comes out with a meat bag that's got backpack straps on it or something. Now you're talking something that might be worthy. And even I would say, that's pretty cool, but a little heavy. But, I don't want to wouldn't want to buy 7 of those. But so here's the thing. Steve Jobs, we all know the richest, was a rich son of a gun. He has over 375 patents. Now, Steve Jobs wasn't known for developing brand new products. He was known for making already existing products better across the globe, across the world, including our smartphones, which is the biggest thing that he did. So he took something that was already there and invented and made it better, and then that became a patent. So you can, if you can make something better, it can be yours. It can be patented, and that version is patentable and it's profitable.
Yeah. And you can, I think you went into it a little bit in the book too, but like, you can patent features too. Like,
you can patent a smell,
a camo pattern, things
pattern,
like that.
A color, a logo, trademark it. You got to see the song industry and the country music industry. You ever get into those patents? Holy mackerel. I mean, they get into tones and octaves and about protecting their song. So, but so for anyone that's wanting to create something, the first thing you got to do is just do it. Start with a drawing if you can draw, or grab a sewing needle like I did and some thread, or if it's something that you machine, then get out in the garage and make up this ugly looking prototype. Then take it to the next step, which is someone that's more knowledgeable than you. They'll make it twice as good. And then and then someone's going to add in an idea, and then they're going to give you more ideas, and then you can like them or not and change and alter. Pretty soon your idea is going to be beautiful, 10 times better than you started in your mind. And it's a process. And in the meantime, once you get to that point, you better call a lawyer and get a patent pending status. And it depends on how intricate the product is, or the device is. If it's a computer chip, you can imagine about a $50,000 price tag. It's staggering.
Yeah.
But in my case, it was something that looks like a pillowcase with a handle at the bottom, but then I put in all that proprietary engineering with the double drawstrings, and then I specialized material, and then I made the bag that holds the other 7.
Right.
You would never get rid of that bag, would you? I mean,
no.
It's like a backpack organizer bag. You can see through it on one side. It's a zipper. My wife came up with that idea.
Yeah.
And I came up with that idea because of other people's bags that I have bought in the past. They're junk. I mean, once I pull the meat bags out, I toss the other holder.
Yeah.
And first of all, it's too small to even refold up the bags and get them back in that thing, where I left enough room in mine that you could you could actually put them back in there.
Yeah, I have. Oh, man, I should have dug it out. I have a repacked set on a shelf over there somewhere.
Awesome.
But yeah, you did. Yeah, you left. It's kind of like when the difference between that tent you can never get back in the bag versus the ones that give you a little bit of extra room. You're never going to roll that tent up as tight as it was when it came out of the factory.
Right.
But and same with game bags. I mean, you can try, but especially when you're in a rush out in the field. Yeah, you can even throw other stuff in that bag if you want.
Oh yeah, and I go online and I see other people's. They sell backpack organizer bags. They're $25, $35, and that's just a bonus feature with Mar bags. You get it with the meat bags.
Yeah.
So it's a bonus. It's a gift to everybody, and I love it. I will continue selling these bags and making them, if anything, just for me, because I love them so much. But when I hear people like you and everyone, and the overwhelming response from people in Canada, Canadians are buying them, and it's amazing what they're doing. We'll even tell them that it's too much to send the bag.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, it's almost the same cost as buying the bag to send it with no handling fees. And we let them know, hey, it's going to cost a lot. You sure?
Right.
And they're like, yeah, this is the best bag in the industry. I want it. Please send it. And here they pay the extra price for it. And I'm just amazed. I'm happy for them and myself for coming out with a cool product.
Well, I can attest, just even this last moose rescue that Chris and I went on, and they had a set of your game bags, and we had sets of our game bags that were yours.
Excellent.
And I mean, just the versatility of how you can 2-man carry things through deep water, so you're not swamping your cord or anything like that, because you can have a guy on the handle in the back and a guy in the front, or 2 guys on the back on the heavy end, and when you're trying to get meat across water, and maybe you don't want to risk having it on one guy's back where, you don't know if you're tripping, you're going to trip on the next step or something like that and risk
twist an ankle or a knee or something.
Yep. And it really, really held up to everything we threw at it. I will say it is the toughest dang pillowcase I've ever seen. If you could describe it as a pillowcase.
So I got to tell you,
that's the cool thing with that blend is you get kind of the breathability of like those real soft nylon bags.
Right.
And everything dries off super nice inside that bag. But they're tough. I mean, they hold up, and they're not gonna that's the problem I've had with those real light nylon ones, is they're not real durable. They snag on things, they catch on things, they get holes ripped in them. And then as soon as you break that integrity, the flies are in there, you're getting larvae and all that. It's just not good. So
exactly, not good. And they're just too lightweight. You get what you pay for. And they always rip and tear. And I've seen the flies still, they put their tail in between the fabric, and they still lay their eggs on the meat on those really cheap bags. You're just wasting $35 because the bag's not going to work anyway. It looks good. You look like you are treating the meat well, but in reality, you're not really doing anything for it. And it's going
Right,
to get dirty
right.
and buggy anyhow. Might
Yeah.
as well go with the premium bags out there. I'm going to say mine, and and protect that. That moose is an investment. You spend a lot of time learning how to hunt them and call them in. And in many cases, if you're not a stayer, you spend a lot of money on plane tickets, and now you're going to spend money on bush flights, and you don't want the meat to go bad because it's really good table fare.
Yep.
It's your trophy.
Exactly.
And for me,
Yeah.
the meat's as big a trophy as the moose rack.
Absolutely.
But I will say I do like my big moles at moose racks, and I don't go after anything under 60, period. I got to have when I see that bull, I got to go, yep, that's going to be worth the effort and the time and the blood and the sweat and the tears of getting it back out of the field, because it's not easy.
Yep. So yeah, we all highly recommend your bags to everybody we talk to. And I will say they've been getting very common around here. I've seen a lot of people with them. So congratulations on that aspect of product creation and marketing and everything like that. You're doing great work.
Thank you.
What would you say in the beginning of product creation was your biggest hurdles? And what was the thing that hung you up the most as far as the process goes from design to production to getting it in stores, the whole process?
Well, the very biggest problem is believing in yourself and getting started. It's it's like, do I want to work on it today? I don't know. No one's going to like it. Am I wasting my time? Has someone got a pet? All these things go on in your head. Just do it.
Yeah.
Grab the string and the yarn and grab some clay and mold and go ahead and just get started. After that, it was finding the manufacturers was kind of tough because there's a whole bunch of them, and there's a whole bunch of not good manufacturers or people pretending to be manufacturers that they're not. And then another one is you think you're talking to a manufacturer and you're talking to a trade company. What these trade companies do is they find manufacturers. They don't tell you that they're doing this way. They're like, oh, we can take care of you. They find the trade manufacturers, find out what the manufacturing costs are, and then they up their little bite out of that. They're the middleman. You don't even know it. And then you're paying for them to do that instead of going directly to the manufacturer, which is what you want, because you want to talk to their engineers. You're talking to engineers that are incredibly smart, way smarter than most all of us when it comes to engineering, and they've all got their degrees, and they all know CAD software systems. Something as so much as my bag went into a CAD software system by an engineer, including myself. I'm not an engineer, but I know how to use CAD software. I built it in a CAD software system. This is how you make cars, boats, toys. Everything goes into a CAD software system. When you're done, you can just print. You can just show it to an engineer. They'll download it. They know they have all the specs. And then you can also test it within a CAD software system of how well it's going to be under stress. Stressing it this way, stressing it that way. All the calculations are being done within the CAD software system, and then it'll make a virtual reality video of your new product, and you can show that to anybody, including the engineers, and it's cool. But CAD software develop. The apps that you get. I use Fusion 360, and there is a learning curve on it, and it takes some time, but it's like you're learning how to be an editor in Final Cut Studio Pro or making hunting videos like I did. It took some time. But once you have it forever. And once you can do it, you can make anything. And so that's what happens is these engineers, you want to talk to them. You want to be able to you don't want that trade person in the middle that's going to be blocking you.
Right.
So that was the second biggest hurdle. And then shipping, because I actually shipped them in from another country. And you might say, why did you do that? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, a lot of people do it. More than you think, and people you don't think are doing it. And so why is that the case? I'm going to be forthright with you here. To get those bags done here in America, to buy the material is more money in America than I sell them here in America. The whole kit.
Really?
Now, I'm not even talking having them made yet.
Really?
Yeah, the material was more than. So, and then you add the cost. I can tell you right now, it's $175 to have them sewed up here in America.
Mm-hmm.
Just sewed up without the material. I mean, not even talking about the price of material. $175 for that bag that you get. So, I mean, you're getting a high quality bag. So I do. Yeah, I had them done out of country, and that's really how the world works and commerce works in America. Everything you see is coming from out of country.
Right.
So, and that's why, because it's not profitable if you don't. Who's going to pay $300 for that set of bags of mine?
Nobody.
That's what it would cost to have it done in America, or right close to it.
Right.
So
yeah, once all costs are accrued and everything's put together and shipped out to the customer's door, and you have to make your margins just to be sustainable.
Right.
You know,
well, you got,
and that would be minimal margins, honestly.
Wouldn't it? Yeah. So that's what, and so that's a big hurdle to go through. Once you get that out of the way, now you're talking about the fun really begins once you find a manufacturer. I mean, we could talk about this for 10 episodes. This is so in depth. And the book that I wrote about this really simplifies it. And it's actually how I did it. That's why I made it simple, because I want people to have a step-by-step strategy like I did. I put it in chapter sequence, how to do it. And the book actually tells you how to make a company at the end of it. I mean, every step goes into product development, goes into getting your inventions out there, getting them created and in your hand. And then it goes into how to get it marketed, who to contact, how to get that ball rolling, get your websites up, your brand built, your SKU numbers done so you can put them on the tag. So when you buy that bag, you walk up to the register, they scan that SKU. That's a whole other thing in itself. It's easy. It's kind of in the book, and I teach that as well, but scan it. That barcode it says me on it. It says 60-inch club. And anybody in the world that scans that is going to know that's Troy Sessions 60-inch club company product.
Yeah. So, and that's incredible. I mean, and that's, honestly, like I said, I've read the book a couple times now, and it's very easy reading. And what I like about what you did is it's not a textbook. It's 50% storybook, 50% roadmap. You just took your experiences and your trials and your errors and your lessons learned, and you just formed them into this book, and literally step by step, A to Z, in order. And that's the hardest part for someone like myself. I've had some ideas, and I've had some things that improvements I'd like to see, and maybe searched high and low and couldn't find answers or couldn't find the product I'm looking for, the modification to the product that I'm looking for. And it's when you start down that road, and everybody's heard of Amazon, what is it? FBA? Yeah. Fulfillment by Amazon. Yeah. And, selling products here, and you get all these influencer videos and stuff like that. And everybody's trying to make a quick buck. And
I think you were talking about Alibaba or AliExpress, but you were talking about Amazon.
Alibaba. Yeah.
We've all heard about that. And that's a good source. I mean, it's a good startup. It's a good start to looking.
It is. But even then, like, okay, what's the next step? How do you dive deeper into that world of finding within Alibaba, within AliExpress, which one of these hundreds of people do I go with, and
how'd you like to
there's that roadmap that you provide. It is really, really what helps clarify things in the head.
Yeah. And that's how I would weed through the actual manufacturers and the people that weren't actual manufacturers, because I would talk to them and I'd be like, are you manufacturing? And, oh, yeah, I'm a manufacturer. I'm like, okay, let's do a face-to-face conference call now, face-to-face, and I want you to walk through your manufacturing building right now. Mm-hmm. Oh, I got to schedule that. I'm like, well, then you must not be the manufacturer. So, and then when they said, yeah, okay. And then I did walk out there, and I didn't realize, but that's how you do it. That's how you find who the real manufacturers are. Because they have, if they're a sewing company or a bag company or a golf cart company, they're going to have that in the back. They're working on them right now. And they're going to take you to a virtual tour through their manufacturing plant. Now you're talking to the manufacturer.
And if you put them on the spot and they go, delay.
And I had some do that. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay a middleman. I mean, I guess if you don't know where to find a manufacturer, then start with one of those people that are like that. But you want to try to find the manufacturer. And quite often it'll say manufacturer on the headlines. But yeah, it's a search. And so once you get that done, you want to find 3 of them. And it just takes time because you got to send them your pictures and you got to tell them each one wanting a prototype and you want to send them a prototype because you don't know what you're going to end up with. They're going to make it the way they think is best.
Right.
And then you get a quote from 3 different people and now you can leverage between the 3. And I mean, now you got leverage and you get the cost down and then you get into how's the shipping going to work and do you need a broker involved to get them back into the States and tariff tax.
Yeah.
I go over that in the book pretty good. And that's a teachable course all in itself. And I'm glad you liked the book. And
yeah, no, you did good with it, man.
I think I want to say one thing while I'm talking, while we're here at this point in the book is in the middle of all of this one bag, I learned how commerce works. And I learned that manufacturers make products, their own products, and they will put your brand on them. They have a catalog that if you're looking for tennis shoes, you can find almost any tennis shoe that you want with the same quality that is out there, and you can put your name on them, your brand on them. And people don't know that. They think, oh, they're bad. They're bad. Well, maybe obviously Nikes are and others are, but most of the products you see in store shelves are like that. I mean, Amazon's is like, wow. For instance, I mean, I wanted, if you're an outdoor company, if you're a production company, if you're any kind of a company and you want to add products to your company, there's manufacturers looking for you. That you can put your brand on anything from tents. For me, I looked up tents. I actually have a tent that's right now in the middle of development. It's already done. Patenting is going through right now. Super cool. But there are tent companies that make tents. There are companies that make just the stakes. I mean, the really cool stakes. And also the poles that go inside the tent that you can bend in half and they don't break. I mean, the cool lightweight stuff. Anybody can get those for their own tents. You can have your own brand put on them again. So, for instance, I have my own rafts, brand manufactured with my own brand on them. I got my own game bags. I got my own tent with my own brand on it. I got tables, camp chairs with my brands on them.
Nice.
And you literally, when I'm filming in my camp, I mean, very little is actually someone else's brand, someone else's product. I mean, I do have, I love my camouflage that I wear. Wouldn't. I mean, that's just too good. How do you beat perfection with the camouflage companies you got out here? I'm just going to stick with the pros there. But something as simple as an ice chest or a cooler, why do you think there's already 24 different brands out there?
Right.
You can have your own ice chest with your own brand on it. It's legal as can be. And you can be the proud peacock in camp with your own cooler. I mean, I did not know this.
Just before this. Just walking around camp. Hey, what's the name on that cooler? Oh yeah.
And then if you got a following, you're going to have people that are going to want those.
Right.
And then now you're making money. And so when you're looking at these products on store shelves, you can mark up the price 5 to 7 times. And that's what the prices are. Manufacturing costs are 5 to 7 times lower than what they're asking for in the stores. And you can buy them for that 1/10 of a percent that you're paying. So, and I mean, if you're doing coolers, I mean, you can buy a cooler that's normally $300. You can buy one for $50 in bulk right directly from the manufacturer.
Yeah.
Sell the other 5 for $100. You make $200 profit and keep the 6th one for free.
Right.
I mean,
if nothing else, just to get yourself some free product.
If nothing else. And then if you go in with a bunch of buddies and you all buy 7 to 10 of them, then you're going to meet that minimum order quantity and you're all going to make bank and get free coolers at the end of it all. Now, I'm using cooler, but
sure. Yeah. But it applies to anything.
It could be anything.
Yeah. Heck yeah, man. Well, and that's the cool thing with like just the way the world works these days. I mean, that's kind of the benefit of having an internet that can go all over the world, and like it or hate it, we've developed this economy that goes beyond borders now. You know, I mean, it's global. It's a global economy. And, you know, in some aspects that maybe sucks for some things, but in a lot of areas it can really benefit. And especially for somebody who's looking to come up, it sounds like.
It is. And I do want to do a shout out for the people, the manufacturers that actually do their own manufacturing.
Mm-hmm.
Huge kudos. Hats off to you. Salute all of it. Good job. Because that's the only way you can make money is with your own, by manufacturing yourself here in the States. And there are patents out there on products. So you got to do some research on them. But the patent that you see on most of your products isn't the entire product. It's a piece of the product quite often.
Sure.
A
latching system or a hinging system.
Or handle might be the only thing that's patented, and the rest of that whole box is completely buyable legally. Right. So don't get yourself in trouble, but do your homework. But 90% of all them products that you see in stores, you can have for your company with your company name and logo on it.
Well, and the other thing I like that you broke down in the book with the whole roadmap system is you really kind of showcased how it can be scalable. Yeah. Right. So let's say you start with a product that is affordable to get manufactured somewhere and shipped in, and you start that route. And then if you're not greedy and you don't take all the money and run, you know, that you make off those first sales, but instead you reinvest and continue to build, continue to grow. Maybe at some point you get to a place where you can self-manufacture your things. You know, you can buy the sewing machine, you can buy the facilities you would need and whatever else.
Right.
But you don't have to wait until you've squirreled away $10 here, $20 there out of each paycheck to be able to get that done later in life. You know, you can start from a scalable perspective, start small, build as you go.
And then the orders increase with the money that comes in from the sales of the last order. At my very beginnings, I broke even.
Right.
And matter of fact, I made money. I just, you know, it takes time to get the brand out there and then roll with a bigger order on the next one and the bigger order on the next one. And pretty soon you're really up and running, and electric bicycles, if you only knew what you could buy those for, you would be mad. Man. You paid for the bike that you got for $7,000, $6,000, $8,000. Yep. Oh, geez. Don't forget, they're marked up 5 to 7 times what you can get them as manufactured.
Right. Right.
And I know this because I just research a lot of products, but I have manufacturers overseas that write me weekly to place orders for electric bicycles. Yeah, I have and she actually has another plant that actually does manufacture my meat bags. So I have a really good relationship with her. Her name's Ellie, and you know, you're not going to find her anywhere. It's a pretty common name, but she does electric bicycles. And when she's like, "Troy, you got to do this," and I do them all. I mean, it's like I go, "Well, do you do the really good electric bikes?" And she says, "I have the best electric bikes on the market. I have a whole manufacturing plant. It's powerful, everything you could possibly think, like we've all seen in here." And man, the pricing is just jaw dropping what I can get them for. And you can too. All of you can do it. It's accessible to everybody. So here's what happens. Okay. So here's what happens with some people, some brand company. So you get a big enough brand company that has the clout and the money and the financing to do this. They will make deals with these manufacturers, and they'll say, "Hey, I want to be exclusive with this product.
Sure.
And I will buy 10,000 of them now. I promise I'll buy 10,000 every year for the next 5 years. I want exclusive rights to this. You sell to nobody in America, period." And you sign contracts on that. That, without patenting, that's how you protect that product. But it's only with that manufacturer. And there's always 2 or 3 different manufacturers doing the same thing.
Right, right.
People don't know this. I mean, when I before all this, the favorite brands that I have out there, I was like, man, these guys are so cool, man. They're rocking it. How can you be so smart to not only invent this, but manufacture it? And you've got to have a manufacturing plant somewhere and big, huge storage warehouses. And no, most of them don't. All of them don't, but some do. But the rest of them, they have they outsource to a manufacturing company that specializes in that product. And they've given them the prototype, make it like this. And they've gone back and forth to make sure the quality is there. But they outsource to a manufacturing company that specializes in just making good stuff. And that's how that works.
Yeah. And the cool thing, I mean, it sounds like there is definitely a world where there's a lot of competition, and there can be a lot of competition for similar products. But with that understanding, and if you're the kind of person that wants to do this and you're driven enough to do this anyway, you're not afraid of a little competition, right?
Right.
But that's a world you can jump into. That's an open area that you're allowed to compete in. So yes, there is a lot of competition, and you got to be careful, like you said, pointed out, with the patents and the protections and everything, making sure that what you're getting is unique enough or open sourced enough to be legally viable. But you can do it. You can be the competition for the next guy. And
you can. Again, I keep coming back to, I'm just blown away with all the different brands of ice chests and coolers. Like, this one looks just like that one, and that looks just like that one. How are they doing this legally? I mean, they're all patented, right? I'm gonna laugh a little bit here when I say patented, right? But do your research, call them up. If they have a patent, they're gonna give you the number.
Yeah,
and and then there's the pride of just actually making something different, making it yourself.
Sure.
But if you want to go easy and you're just looking for more products, it's the sky is wide open to you. There's manufacturers begging, looking for you, advertising to find you. They want you to put your brand on them. They want lifelong members. And like with me, I get emails every week from different manufacturers around the world. Biggest thing I was looking at recently was a bunch of golf carts. And you would be sick if you knew how cheap you can buy a really super nice golf cart for. They're normally 27 grand, 16 to 27 grand. How cheap you can get them for? Oh my word! Hook me up. I can help you out.
Right.
and all the products are like that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And I could have my own line of golf carts with my brand on them, or my name, and I could start a whole new brand here in America right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And their quality, they're made the same as all the rest of them. And they even got more horsepower than the other golf carts. But I'm getting off on a tangent here. I mean, maybe I need a hunting golf cart.
There you go. Throw some camo on it, and then we'll be good.
I can make them 4-wheel drive.
Nice.
And camo. Yeah, I've looked into it all. Yep. It's cool. I'm getting off here a little bit, though, but yeah.
Well, so... And once you get through this step, the other thing I like that you break down is the marketing aspect, getting it in front of people, getting it in front of store owners, on shelves, things like that. You really do a good job of walking through that process, and with photos and stories from your own experiences and things like that, and struggles you went through and successes you had, and kind of the negotiating tactics and things like that, and how to present your product, because it is a highly competitive world. If you're the new guy in, you've got to prove to them, convince them why this product is needed in their world, in a store full of other products, why this one's going to stand out and it will sell. Or even if you're selling on Amazon or something like that, and
I'm working with a
shipment.
Exactly. I'm working with a company now with a product that the design of it was turned out to be pretty darn cool. But in the making of this product, you realize that if you're the inventor of a product, you have more passion in that product.
Yes.
And then you start to realize that the people that you have hired you to do this process, they become more of an investor. They don't know the passion. So I've had some pretty good learning going on here recently about that when you invent something, and I'm bringing this up because when you invent something, you don't need someone's to tell you that if it's good or not.
Right.
How many of you ever heard of Sarah Blakely? She's a billionaire with a B. She'd cut the heels off of pantyhose, which you would think was patented, right? No. Well, if it is, she was able to do this legally. She got the heels out of pantyhose so that she could wear white pants without all the ugly
Really?
wrinkles or something that might be going down in the derriere area. But, and she became a billionaire. But she was told that it would never go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
She had to tell everybody how cool Spanx was. The company's called Spanx. How cool this was for women. And now it's the biggest thing in the world's ever seen for women.
Yeah.
Spanx. She took an already existing product, might have been patented, and made it better.
Mm-hmm.
So don't stop with your dreams. Go for it. Lawyers are actually, when you first start off, are pretty cheap to talk to. We usually don't charge anything at first. And make it. Do it. Get it rolling and see where it takes you. It's an incredibly gratifying process, and to end up and seeing your product on a store shelf is incredibly gratifying. I highly recommend it. I thought flying and playing was gratifying, but this is the whole nother level. And then you just want to make another and another and another, and your wheels start spinning. Then next thing you know, you're an entrepreneur.
Yep. Well, you want to show a picture of the book? I know you said you might have been pulling that up on your screen there. I'm going to show a picture
right now of that.
Looking for.
Yeah. Do my whole.
And that's the other thing, while you're doing that, I'll just mention, is you have pictures mixed in with that book on, I'm not going to say every page, but almost every page. When you're talking and you're explaining something and you're going through the steps, you have a picture there that shows what you're talking about.
Right.
Whether it's a product you've done in the past or a product a friend of yours has done that really made an impactful difference, or you're showing pictures of the ordering process and things like that. I mean, everything in there was super, super easy to wrap your mind around,
It is. I mean, are you seeing this now?
I am. Yep.
Okay. And you can see I got the intro to it, and then I'm showing the pictures, and you can go back with bags. Meat bags they first originally were made back in the late 1900s, and they were used for grain bags. And I go into that, where inventing meat bags no one did that. I mean, they've been out since the 1800s. So then I go into everything you're seeing here. They're not all equal, and I mean, just a quick deal, but yeah, you can see.
Don't show too much. They still got to buy it.
Oh yeah. Well, let's get to that.
But yeah, I love the pictures. I love the real life examples, and I love the writing style. It's similar to the way I like to write when I do. I haven't written a whole lot of stuff, but when I do, I like to do it in a sense that it feels like I'm just talking to you, like you and I are right now. We're just chit chatting. And I don't try to spruce it up too much with fancy words and all this other stuff. Make it sound like I'm someone I'm not. It's just real life,
That's what I wrote the book like I was talking to you. That's how I've done all my hunting videos.
Yeah.
I brought you in on a journey with me on my hunts, and I wanted to write the book the same way. As you're a part of this, I want to share all my knowledge with you and help you and bring your own inventions to life, maybe get some products for your company and let you know this is so not only possible, but this is how the world works. This is nothing's changed here for 100 years. This is how all the products get on the store shelves. I'm just making everyone aware of what's going on. And you can all have your own store. You can all have your own products. And I just wanted to explain it like that in the book, in the same journey that I took with each one of my products.
Right. Well, and how much can you improve somebody else's life with your product too? I mean, putting handles on the bottoms of the game bags, as simple as that sounds, can change someone's experience,
right?
Entirely.
You had, let's go back to last year's hunt where you had to help those two hunters pack out their moose. I think you twisted a knee.
Yep.
And how crucial was it to have a handle on that bottom of that bag?
Yeah.
For that.
Yep.
It was life-changing. I mean, could you have done it?
No.
Easier?
No, I mean, some of the terrain we were covering, you just couldn't have done it without being able to grab both ends and hike it up, get it on your shoulders, get it, above the water levels. Right. And, I mean, it was literally, I've done quite a few moose pack outs, and using those bags was game changing.
That was game changing.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. And And, from loading them up, getting them out of there. Like you said, when you're loading a plane, it's hard to hang on to every part of a game bag as you're trying to squeeze it in and fit it in this tight little corner it goes in, and everything's getting stacked on top of itself, and it's bloody, slippery.
How about this? I'm going to put a prop out there to BagTech and their drag technology that you're aware of as well now, but how much easier would it have been if you could have had one of those drag bags with you?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I'm stoked to start using those. Yeah. For everything. So,
I mean, those boys, that technology started in Montana, dragging elk off the mountain. And now it's developed into where you can throw your quarters into it. Awesome technology going on there. And those guys, once again, they're doing their own inventing and their own testing, and then they're letting everyone test them for them. So it's shout out to BagTech, .org, I believe it is. It might be .com.
Yes, it is. No, I think you're right. It is .org.
.org.
Yeah. That's going to be a great product. It's lightweight. It's compact. It rolls up. It stows away. You tie it right on the bottom of your pack and just have it ready when you need it.
Exactly.
I mean, just something like that, some idea that comes about, you can bring it to fruition, and it could change somebody's whole experience. So,
well, I appreciate the kind words there, James. And I'm going to tell you what. So, I mean, normally I'm charging about $30 for this book on my website, or it might be 27. But right now, because of the Northern Hunter, your podcast here, it's going to be $13.49, 50 cents. And it's a downloadable version. You buy it and you will take you to a page where you can download the PDF file of the book, or you can click the link and you can actually read it in a flip form motion, like you just saw on the video here that we just showed you. You can flip through the pages and read it at your leisure. It's on Amazon as well through Audible, but you don't get all the pictures in Audible. Audible's a little bit funky they don't like pictures. They want it to be all script. So if you go through our 60inchclub.com, click on the book, go down and get it. Right now, it's going to be less than half price at $13.50. It'll take you right to there. You can own it, download the PDF. Again, you can read it with the link. Don't lose the link. Thank you, James, and the Northern Hunter. And I'm happy to give a discount to every one of your followers. You're doing a great thing.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. And the cool thing with the hunting world is everybody has ideas. Everybody's used products that they have these ideas and modifications they'd like to see. I mean, if you've been doing this for 5-10 years, you've developed some ideas in your head of, man, I really wish somebody would do this. And it just, maybe nobody has. Maybe nobody's had the same idea as you, or they have, and like you, they haven't done anything about it yet. And it's just sitting there in other people's heads, and it's just going to continue to sit there until somebody takes that next step and brings it to reality.
Exactly. Everybody's got $1 million ideas of inventions in their head. And if you don't take action and just start, they're going to die with you. And what a shame that would be if some of these companies that we'd love and know, if they hadn't come out with their inventions, like Cryptek, and that camouflage is insane.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, how... We're so well off now having Cryptek in our lives and that camouflage. And, Kuiu is pretty dang cool as well. And the other camouflage companies, I mean, I think I've owned all of them at one point in time. Yep. They've all enhanced my life. And so if you got an idea for an invention, run with it.
Right.
Go with it. Make sure, and then follow the steps in the book, get a hold of me somehow, whatever you got to do, and go with it. Don't let anybody tell you that it's not going to be good enough. And don't let anybody tell you that it's not good enough. God gave you the idea for a reason, because you have the passion in your heart, the need for it to create something incredibly cool. Go with it.
Right. Yep. And it could change your life, and it could change a lot of other people's lives.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
No. And again, I just want to fall back to it. The step-by-step way that you wrote this book in. For anybody listening, if you've looked into this process before and you've looked into manufacturing products or trying to get something out, and kind of lost hope because there's a lot of dead ends in the research. You've kind of got to start over from scratch in a lot of places because it'll take you so far and then it won't take you any farther than that. And then you got to start from square one on the next spot or try to find where it picks up where the other one left off. And there's also a lot of bad information that you can follow too. I mean, the people who are playing the middlemen, like you said, they're trying to get you to shop with them as well. So they're going to present themselves as manufacturers and things like that. You got to learn how to filter that out.
Yeah.
So if anybody's gotten a tenth of the way through this process and kind of gotten lost or just not sure where the next step is, your book really lays it out. It really just takes you point A to point B. And in a lot of cases, like even in one of the things I had an idea for, I realized the reason I was struggling is because I skipped stage 1 and 2 before I even got the basis involved. And so having that in-depth, in-person, real-life experience in an easily readable format like that, it is going to change everybody's perspective of how this process works.
Yeah.
And then from my understanding, you've got some other, some expansions to that you're working on and other ways you're working on helping people.
I mean, the cheapest way to go is to get the book. You can get it, again, the cheapest is through Amazon. You don't get the pictures. So then go on the website and I get it through there less than half price for a week now. So when this comes out, we got 1 week, you can get it for half price. 60inchclub.com. It's on the main page. Click, it says buy book. Take you right to the page. Boom, download it, own it, keep it forever, read it. I'm offering training courses on top of that, which will be in the form of a group Zoom configuration where I'll be going through the process with you guys through a Zoom call. And then I'm also offering a one-on-one consultation, not consultation, but a course where we go over your product or go over the steps that you want to go through and train you how to do this process one-on-one. So I answer in the group session, I am answering questions from 50 different people, but in the one-on-one session, you get all my time and we go over it with you. And then I have one other step, each step is a higher price package where you have me for the whole day. And then I have a company right now where they pay me, I actually get a percentage of the product and I help them that way because it's big money at that point in time, but a percentage is where I earn my worth and they earn their worth and they learn everything I know and they have a product at the end of it all. So it benefits everybody and I'm eager to help in any way I can with you guys. I understand money and we all want to save our pennies and stuff. But when it comes to getting your inventions out, whether you go with me or someone else or do it yourself, just start into it.
Yeah.
I'm here, the book's here, and you can take whichever choice you want to take.
Yeah. Perfect. Well, that all sounds like great opportunity. And I'm assuming any information as far as those courses go or that instructions, that'll be on the website as well when that's available. Yeah, there is another website that I am offering those courses at, but I'm working on them right now. Gotcha. That'll be later on. We'll release that on the website. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for that. I hope to be on here again and clarify maybe even more with folks that have questions, after this comes out. And then you can also reach me at 60inchclub.com for questions. I am excited for all of you that you've got this new information. I hope this has blown your mind and your world that you thought you lived in. To the possibilities are endless with you and your company and your products and inventions. So just bright-eyed and clear hearts can't fail. Yep, absolutely. Yep, and you just got to be tough enough to not quit either. Persistence is everything. It sure is. There's in any form of entrepreneurial venue or ventures, there's always going to be those late nights, those doubts, losing sleep over a bad deal or whatever the case might be. And those moments to just, man, this is too tough. I just why am I doing this to myself? But you stick with it. You had a dream. You had your goals, your mission. Remember that, stick to it. And then when all the bad stuff fades, you'll realize why you did. And you'll be grateful that you did. Exactly. And you just got to not quit. Just got to not stop. It can be as simple as that. Simple as that, for sure. And
Don't let anybody tell you you can't do it. Listen to your heart, and that's what's going to take you through the process. We're making it sound like this is a painful journey, but in reality, this is so fun to find the manufacturers and learn the shipping. And there's people that will find the manufacturer for you. The lawyer will do all the patenting for you. There's brokers that will do all the shipping for you. And quite often, the manufacturers will do all the shipping for you as well. So this is really a simple process if you want to make it that way, but it just costs more money with more help. So to learn it yourself is where you save big time. But even if you went with everybody and you paid everyone to do it for you, as far as the manufacturing, the shipping and all that, you're still going to make a big profit because all these products are 5 to 7 times, sometimes they're even higher, 10 times the manufacturing and shipping price. I mean, for a product to be actually profitable, you really want to be at 5 times manufacturing. We'll throw that out there.
Yeah.
Because
you got to make your margins. It's got to be worth it.
Yeah, you got commercials, sponsoring. You're going to give away a lot of free merchandise to get the word out. There's costs involved. They go into the trade shows, go into the big shows, Safari Club International, SHOT shows and all that. I mean, they're not cheap. You want to make a profit. And I'm going to tell you right at first, your first order isn't going to be 5 times. It's going to be more like 3 times because you're learning the process. And as you get through it, you're going to find cheaper ways for shipping. You're going to find other manufacturers are going to approach you and they're going to do it cheaper with same high quality, but they'll do it cheaper because they want your business. And then it just gets better and better.
Yeah. Just watch the snowball effect. Awesome. Well, I think it's a great thing that you're doing, man, kind of tearing down the gatekeeping a little bit and really opening the world up to people. I think it's going to produce a lot of really cool products. I'm excited to see what people have stashed away in their brains that just hasn't come to fruition yet. I mean, who knows? We could see a whole new line of innovation come about. And that's really that's the coolest part about all of this is innovating things and making things better. I mean, that's good night. Just over the last 20 years, we've seen how far everything's come.
Oh my God.
And it just takes people turning ideas into reality. And it's not always the big name companies, you know. It's
not. So, I can't tell you how many companies have actually seen ideas that I've had early on, and they're making my product, what I developed. I've had a couple of them already being developed by another company that's seen my videos and stuff. So, but I can't wait to show you my new tent design and my whole new vestibule design. And I have a whole thing coming out that fits on top of a raft. It's going to blow your minds. It's going to be life altering for all you rafters out there. That's coming out. And yeah, I got a lot coming out. So stay tuned.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
So read the book. It's a good read. James confirms it's a good read. And I hope you learn as much as you can from it. And yeah, get hold of me. I love to talk hunting. And this product development was all about hunting for me. So whether it's perfume or makeup, but in this case for me, product development was all about hunting, getting in the outdoors, surviving the elements, and being as comfortable as I can. And that's where all my products are at. So
Yep. And if I do say so myself, you've done a dang good job of it so far. So
thanks, James. You and your whole group, thank you for all the help that you have. I know you're all been personally testing some of my stuff, and I'll eventually get all of it over to you guys. And then you get the product development underway with product development, but you actually testing the equipment. Myself, and that's where it's so cool about 60 Inch Club. All my guys get to test my new inventions before anybody else does. So, and they're all going to be coming on here and talking about it in years to come, including in a couple episodes. We're going to be coming out with 1 or 2 of the products. So that they got to test out. So that's another perk for 60 Inch Club members. And then of course they get the product. So cool stuff. So
absolutely it is.
Thank you for
we'll go ahead and drop the link for where you can buy the book in the show notes for this episode. That way it's super easy. Just go down to the show notes, click that link. It'll take you over to the book. You can download that PDF. Keep it forever. Read it as many times as you need to. Once really is going to be enough. I read it twice, but that's because I like picking up things on the second go around. So before we wrap up, though, Troy, why don't you really quickly plug just about any way they can get a hold of you, whether it's for 60 Inch Club, hunting stuff, or for this book? and your new podcasts, any of your media you're putting out.
Okay, yeah. So you can get the book at 60inchclub.com. You can also reach me there by phone or by email. You can go to our 60-inch Club channel, and that's where all our podcasts are coming out as well on YouTube. And I also have a link on the main page of 60-inch Club, our website, that you click podcasts, and our latest podcast will pop up there for you to watch at your leisure and enjoy. So, yeah.
Perfect.
And then as for all the training courses and stuff, just get a hold of me as that transpires and I get that developed into bigger platforms, and that's going to grow as well. And can't wait to help all of you. It's my mission after learning this process and what we've all been kept from. It's my mission to teach all of you everything I know about getting your products out there.
Yeah. Perfect. And it's a wonderful mission. I'm excited to use it and benefit from that mission.
Absolutely.
And yeah, just again, well done writing that book. It was a great job you did there. So
thank you.
Yeah. I never would have guessed it was your first book. I'll say that.
Wow. Yeah. There's a lot more coming out, by the way. I'm glad you asked that because I have more coming out, including a lot of books about my hunting adventures. Is going to be a collection series, I think. I've been on a few hunts. I think I can come up with quite a few books.
just a couple.
I got a lot of crazy stories, some crazy flying stories that I've had to experience, and near-death experiences, and some amazingly windy hydraulic flying where I'm sweating in the seat. And so, yeah, stay tuned for those. Those are coming out too.
Sounds good. All right, everybody. Well, thank you for hanging in with us on this one. Go hit that link if you have any ideas that you think you might want to bring to fruition. Believe in yourself. It is achievable. Troy's going to give you the roadmap to get there, and make sure you reach out to him and get that going. If you have any questions about what we talked about, you can reach out to Troy directly. If you have any questions as far as our interaction with him, you can go to the website, thenorthernhunter.com, and we have a contact button there. If you hit the contact button, you'll get an email directly to me. We've got our partners page there where Troy's link is also found. By the way, thank you so much for sponsoring the Northern Hunter and believing in what we're doing here as well, and our mission to help people too. So
absolutely. You're Alaskans. I'm going to do what I can for you. And you're doing a great job.
Yep. And while you're on the website, make sure you hit up the merch store. We've got a bunch of hoodies just like this one. Another good thing about video, I can show off the hoodies. So if you want one like this, go ahead and grab one. Rock that Northern Hunter logo and send us a picture. We love to see it. So
I want one.
Absolutely. I'll send you one.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Troy. Hopefully we'll have to have you on again soon to do some more hunting stuff too. So
sounds good. We'll do that. Anytime you want, you just get a hold of me. I'll be happy.
Awesome. Sounds great. To everybody out there listening, until next time, get out there, get after it. Good luck. We'll see you there.